Arctera now supports collection of data from Google Workspace. Customers can collect data from Google Drive, Google Chat, and Gmail for various eDiscovery use cases. In this demonstration, I will show the end-to-end workflow. I will configure a collector and then I will perform a targeted collection. In the Arctera management console, within archive collectors, there's an option to add a collector. If I filter on type and select enterprise tools, the first option is Google Workspace collector. Select it and then I'll click on configure, provide a name, project Unios. I'll provide a description as well. The next step is to provide an email address that will impersonate the service account to connect to the workspace and collect the information. A certificate is also required to authenticate the tenant. So I have already downloaded a certificate that I'm going to use, and then I will click on test connection. If the required permissions are available to the email address, then we will be able to collect to the workspace and collect data. So test connection is now successful. I'll click on save. Google Workspace collection connector with the name Project Helios is now configured. You can see a green checkbox. The next step is to collect data from Workspace. For that, I will switch from Management Console to Arctera eDiscovery. Within Arctera eDiscovery, under Investigations, there's an option of Targeted Collection. I'm going to perform a new collection. So I'll click on Add. I'll select the collector type as Google Workspace. Look in the name. And I will also provide an email address to whom notifications will be sent when is completed. Then the next step is to select the collector that we just now configured. The next step is to configure the collection. Select what you want to collect. So I want to collect mail, I want to collect chat and drive, but I want to do it for specific users, not for everyone. So I'll select those users from the list and give a date range. Other settings, I'll keep it as default. There's also an option to send the collected data to a specific case. So I've already created a case called Project Helios. So I'm going to send all the collected data to the specific case. The next is basically summary of the collection. So I'm just going to click on complete. Once you click on complete, 3 tasks are initiated, one each for Drive, Chat, and Gmail. This takes some time to query and bring the data. So I've already performed that operation and I've already got the data. So I'll go to eDiscovery, I'll go to the case where this data or the collected data can be found. So I perform a search across Google Workspace for a specific date, a specific keyword, and I found 4 emails, 1 collaboration, and 1 file that is exchanged by these 2 users. So instead of going through each of the items, I can use Arctera Insight AI that will provide me a summary of the conversation that the 2 users are having. If I click on summarize, I get a good summary of the entire conversation. So the conversation is happening about confidential communication, strategic planning related to an acquisition. These users are talking about handling of non-public information, market sensitive announcement. So this gives an idea about what the conversation is happening between the 2 users. So this is how customers can use Google Workspace to collect data and then perform eDiscovery on the connected data.